Hey guys, join me in getting ready for the day. We're gonna go over some makeup tips, and then we're also gonna go over what really does piss me off the most. All right, first things first, put your hair up, because I'm telling you, right now you will get annoyed when you're doing your stuff, especially with the wetter products, and your hair will stick to your face, and it's just not fun. It's annoying. You'll get frustrated. Your face will also itch. It's not fun. And then you'll scratch your face. You'll get makeup under your. It's just not fun. Not everyone uses a headband. Some people like to use hair clips, but I like using a headband because my little sister gave it to me, and it just reminds me of her. So, little headband first. Do make sure that you washed your face first, dried it, and then the most important thing before you put anything on your face is a moisturizer. I don't know what type of moisturizer you guys would prefer to use, but this one's mine, and it's literally Aquaphor, basically Vaseline. I put a little bit all over my face, and then I let it dry for like 2 minutes because I don't want to put primer over a wet base. And then yeah, okay, so shit is done. My face is nice and ready for me to use my primer. And we're also just gonna do a very simple and easy look. That way, it's just not hard to catch on. You know, anyone can do this. Anyone can go to the drugstore and buy any of these products. I usually use 2 primers, but for today's sake, I'm only gonna use 1, and it's the Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. Super cheap. You can get this at the dollar store, Walgreens, Walmart, anywhere. It works real good, and it's cheap, and you don't need to be buying the most expensive brands for your makeup to turn out okay. So while I put this on, let's talk about one thing that really does annoy me. And I don't mean this in any offense, but people who breathe through their mouth. And no, if you have a stuffy nose, that's fine. Like, I'm not totally judgmental. People have allergies, people be going through shit, I be going through shit. But if you don't have a stuffy nose, breathe through your nose. The whole room can hear you breathing, and I don't want to hear it. I don't. Next thing I'm gonna use is this red color corrector because I have really dark circles, and I would be using a green corrector for the redness in my face, but I don't have any on me on the moment, so it is what it is. Be sure to always put your color correctors under your base, like under the concealer and under the foundation. You don't ever put it on top of, because let me tell you, people will see it. Okay, I blended it out. It's a very nice layer. You could put more if you want to, but it just depends on if you want the orangeness to show up. So remember, just a really thin layer. Next, I'm going in with this foundation. You can get it from the dollar store, Walgreens. It's $10, super cheap, but it's also super good. Other foundations I've had that were like $40, $30, they've always ended up cakey, always ended up just patchy, streaky. Just does not work. You do not have to buy the most expensive thing to have something that works for you. While I blend this in, here is another thing that annoys me. People who are self-destructive, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a way as you come to me, I give you advice that you ask for, but then you knowingly make a decision that's gonna hurt your own feelings in the end. Like, oh, that's probably one of the most annoying things on the face of this planet. I really hate when people ask me for advice, but then don't listen to it, because then what are you even talking to me for? Like, that's just crazy. Also, people who tell you that blending does not take a minute and that you literally can just blend your stuff in 2 minutes, like on TikTok or on YouTube, that's a lie, okay? It takes at least 15-20 minutes to blend. Also, it's okay if you get it on your eyebrow, because we're gonna deal with that later. You just want to make sure that you actually cover your whole face evenly, because let me tell you, if you don't, when you put your pressing powder on, it'll come back to bite you in the butt. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, make sure you have blended down your neck, because, well, this is a pretty good shade match. Some people prefer their summer colors in winter. Make sure you bring it all the way down to your neck, because your face will be a completely different color. It might not be too drastic. Let me tell you though, you'll notice, and it will irk you, trust me. Okay, so now I've applied a pretty even layer of it, and now I'm gonna go in with some concealer, which should brighten up the areas that aren't touched as much by the sun. So that would be like your under eyes, your forehead right here, and your chin. Okay, so concealer's on. I usually let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes just to dry on my face and also give the foundation some time to sit. But while that sits, here's another thing that annoys me. And it really does. People who still chew with their mouth open, okay? Like, we learned that in primary school. And it's not everybody, but like every once in a blue moon, I will see somebody going ham on something and they're just mouth open, just chewing, and I just can't help but notice. Again, take your time with your blending. It's probably one of the most important steps of makeup. If it doesn't look, I don't want to say seamless, but if just like, if you can see the lines of your makeup, keep blending. Even if your arm gets tired, keep blending. It's called a full beat for a reason. All right, so I'm all blended out, and now I'm just setting with my pressed powder. I'm not even gonna get into like what pressed powder, baking powder, setting powder, I'm not gonna get into it. But another thing that does annoy me is people who come to a full stop before they turn. Now, if you're coming up to a stop sign, if you're at a light, like clearly that's common sense, but if you're coming to a full stop, have the whole line waiting behind you just to turn in, it's the most annoying thing in this universe. Just like, if you can't drive, don't drive. Another thing that also really annoys me is people who hate on other people's music taste. My opinion, literally, depending on where you grew up from, the people you hung up around, your culture, your friends, everyone has similar music, but also drastically different music that they listen to as well. And it's just, if it's not your cup of tea, just say so, but do not completely shit on someone's artist or just who they listen to, because that's just, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, don't do that. Just a little bit of bronzer on the forehead and then on the sides and on your chin. Some people like to take it on their cheek. I don't. I have a small face, but you can do that. But that's just for making you look sun-kissed. When the sun hits your face, it most likely hits here, 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 and here. So that's what I'm gonna do real quick, and then I'll show you the after. All right, so that's how it looks. I'll blend it out a little bit more, but that's basically the idea of it. And then I'm gonna use a powdered blush as well. Remember, after you set your face, unless you're doing your lips or touching up your eyeliner, nothing wet can touch your base because it will make it patchy. And it's not a fun experience to experience. Like, you don't want your makeup to be patchy because 9 times out of 10, you don't have a lot of time throughout the day to do touch-ups like that. So it is what it is. And then a little bit of blush. I like pulling it up instead of this way because it pulls my face up more and it gives more of a snatched look, I guess I should say. But yeah. Okay, so I wet this brush and then I'm gonna go in with a black eyeshadow and I'm just gonna do my waterline. I don't like using eyeliners for my waterline because they never last. It's just a waste of time, honestly, and a waste of product. So use this instead if you have something like this. Okay, waterline is done and that will more or less last throughout the day. Next steps are eyelash curler and mascara because you can't not do that. Okay, eyelashes are done, and then the next step would just be lips, and then that's it. And then just because this is supposed to be a really easy look, like no eyeliner, no nothing extra, I'm just using a lip tint instead of a lip liner and like all this extra stuff because this is supposed to be just throw it on your face and get out the door. And all right, that is my makeup. Make sure to go into different lightings to make sure that it looks okay and that it's exactly how you want it. Touch it up where you want. Remember, I have a different face shape more than others, but thank you for joining me in my, unfiltered, unedited get ready with me, and thank you for chatting about what really does piss me off the most.